Someday, me and my friends are going to go podcasting together into the forever and beautiful Harmless Phosphorescence. Hello, everyone. This is your host, Magnificent Phallus Thoreau Smiley.
Oh.
God damn. Sorry, Josh.
It's literally the only thing I wrote down. Okay.
What other magnificent phalluses are here?
Hey, it's Hideous Platter of Mistake, Josh CC.
Not to dilute the magnificence of your phalluses, but what the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I'm Brian Lash.
I'm Alaric Weber. I'm not trying to conquer the universe. I'm perfecting it.
Good job, Al.
It's true.
One sentence structure at a time.
You're doing a great job, pal. Really knocking it out of the park.
Keep at it.
It's a slow process.
Yeah, exactly. It's a game of inches, not yards.
Yeah, Rome wasn't burned in a day. This is a Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and source material, and we tell you about it. This show is brought to you by our patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got a lot of bonus content there. We've got Star Wars shows, and it's a bunch of old movie or music shows. We do different movies every month. This month we're doing Basic Instinct. We are all going to be doing it without wearing any underwear.
Yep.
So check that out.
Constantly crossing our legs.
Yes.
For the microphone.
Crossing and uncrossing. Yeah.
And we're all just going to be dabbing the sweat away from each other's foreheads, making weird eye contact the whole time.
Newman!
Can you imagine being in a room with Newman and being like, dude, you are way too turned on right now. You have to leave.
Well, it's okay when Michael Douglas does it.
That movie proves that it's okay if Michael Douglas does it. That's the underlying theme.
That is the moral of that.
No, I have so much to say about Michael Douglas in that movie, but that is not this podcast.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That is...
Even though Luis Despacito is involved in both.
Yeah. That is at patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. Check it out. $1 a month is all it takes. This week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm Star-Lord. I formed the Guardians. Met a girl, fell in love. That girl died, but then she came back. Came back a total dick.
Oh, please. He left out some important information, but that is the gist of it.
I get the same old dreams, same time every night. Fall to the ground and I wake up.
My sacred mission
Is to create the perfect society.
He didn't want to make things perfect. He just hated things the way they are.
I want you all to know that I am grateful to fight beside my friends.
Incinerate them. We were always searching for a family until we found each other.
Are you ready for one last ride?
We'll all fly away together.
Into the forever and beautiful sky.
whoever it was that you were in love with, it sounds more like her.
Her? That's ridiculous.
Do not bring me into this.
Knock it off!
What?
Just never noticed how black your eyes were.
They were replaced by my father as a method of torture.
He picked a pretty set.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Goddamn. It was released May 5th, 2023. The running time of 150 minutes. Cost $250 million and has made $845 million. So it did pretty good. Better than I think people were expecting, given the downturn Marvel's had recently. But
I feel like this was a thing a lot of people were waiting for. In that sense, like
they definitely were. And I think also it has had such immensely good word of mouth that it because it had a dip there at the beginning and then like started growing again, and people just started going to see it based on what their friends were telling them. But speaking of the box office, guys, you ready to play the box office top 10 game?
Woo!
This is the game. Well, I will describe the top 10 movies of the week of May 5th, 2023, just a few months ago. And we are going to go ahead and try to guess what those movies are. Are you ready, guys?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
I don't remember movies from that long ago.
Yeah. I only remember
You're
movies.
laughing, but
I only remember movies from 30 years ago.
I was going to say, yeah.
I don't know what's in the box office right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just Barbenheimer is all
yeah.
aware of.
Yeah, nothing else really matters, honestly. All right, at number 10 for the week of May 5th, 2023. I've never heard of this before. When an ex-soldier who discovers gold in the Lapland wilderness tries to take the loot into the city, Nazi soldiers led by a brutal SS officer battle him. This is the first time I'm hearing about this movie. This very minute. Who is in this?
The Treasure of the Swiss Alps.
what's the German
Is
phrase
that
for
it?
Nazi gold?
I don't know.
What's the what phrase for Nazi gold?
The German phrase for Nazi gold.
Our gold. That's our gold.
Yeah. It stars nobody I have ever heard of. This might actually be a German movie? Yeah, these are all this is looks like it's a foreign film. It's called Sisu. 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 Yeah. First time I am aware of it. At number 9 this week. During the war in Afghanistan, a local interpreter risks his own life to carry an injured sergeant across miles of grueling terrain.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh, directed by Guy Ritchie. What the fuck?
Look Who's Walking Now.
I should say that to someone.
No clue.
I don't know, but I'm going to petition Guy Ritchie to rename it that.
Are you implying that this is the baby from Look Who's Talking and Look Who's Talking To? Just fully grown? Like Jake Gyllenhaal didn't grow up to sound like, what's his face from
Bruce
Grease?
Willis, yeah.
Yeah, totally. Because he's an interpreter, but he's carrying somebody.
Yeah. Who's wounded.
So we don't hear him speak the whole movie. It's this guy who's interpreting.
That's
the big twist at the end. Like, it is the kid from Look Who's Talking.
Well.
He's not
Look who's
heavy.
walking
He's
now.
not heavy. He's my imperialist oppressor. It's called The Covenant.
The Covenant? Like they're
Covenant.
from Boston?
The Covenant.
Covenant.
Until I clicked on the link, I really thought it was going to be a horror movie. The Covenant.
Yeah, usually, yeah, because that's a pact, right?
I think that is the title of a number of horror movies. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it is the Covenant. I bet that.
I'm
imagine being talking to a friend or someone you know that either miraculously was able to start walking again or had a surgery to allow it. So much shade in Look Who's Walking Now.
Well. Look who's walking now.
All right.
At number 8 this week. This film follows the history of sports marketing executive Sonny Vaccaro. That's all. If I say anymore, it's going to give it away.
Jerry Maguire, too?
Jump Man? What do they call these? What is this movie called?
Oh.
It's
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Yeah, Affleck, Damon.
Oh,
they're making
Air.
Nikes. Air.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
But they stretched a very small part of history out quite a bit.
At number 7, a film that I don't think got its due. A charming thief and a band of unlikely adventurers embark on an epic quest to retrieve a lost relic. But
Double D, right?
Yep.
Dungeons and Dragons, something.
Honor Among Thieves.
Honor Among Thieves.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
It was fun.
Chris Pine.
Yeah.
I love Chris Pine being weird. I didn't know 10 years ago when he was Kirk that he was this weird. He's a weird dude.
No, we didn't know. But yeah, he is. He's he's wacky.
Yeah.
That's why he's one of the Chris's.
Yeah, he is.
He's the wacky Chris.
Mhm.
If they were Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
I was going to say, he could be the handsome Chris, but the other 3 Chris's have him beat.
Yeah.
Who are the other 3 Chris's?
Evans.
Hemsworth.
And
I know Evan.
Pratt.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Chris Pratt's a handsome man.
Yeah.
At number 6 this week.
It's the hair, I think.
It might be. Those dreamboat eyes of his. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Andy Dwyer.
Number, what did I say? 6? Yeah, 6. Out of fucking. Okay. Before our hero uncovers a path to defeating the High Table, but before he can earn his freedom, he must face off against a new enemy with powerful alliances across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes.
Oh, at first the table threw me off, but now I remember from the trailer mentioned a lot. Is this the John Wick?
John Wick, Chapter 4. Yep.
I got a seat at the table. I see.
I was
thinking King Arthur for a moment.
I've only seen the first John Wick, so that's not a series I've kept up with.
I haven't been able to get through it. Yeah, you can't kill the dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, the first
spoiler.
Yeah, well,
it's not a spoiler. It's how the movie starts.
Yeah.
But
no, the first one was fucking great, but yeah, like I said, I haven't seen any of the others, so I don't know. Apparently, it's been popular. It appears.
It's like a scientist. People seem to like these Fast and Furious movies.
At number 5 this week, a young woman tries to ease the pain of her fiance's death by sending romantic texts to his old cell phone number and forms a connection with the man the number has been reassigned to. Starring...
Did he kill the boyfriend? Because that's my guess.
Yeah. Let me get his phone.
Starring Priyanka Chopra Jonas, Sam Heughan, and Celine Dion.
What?
Which is... Yeah.
Interesting.
Probably last thing Celine Dion's ever going to do. She just is diagnosed with something that's like life altering. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, is it?
But no, this movie has a really, really, really super generic romantic name.
Let's see. Text.
Text me back.
I see. I was going to say
Text me once, shame on you.
Text me deadly.
You up.
You up? Yeah. Eggplant emoji, the movie.
Not the emoji movie, the eggplant
emoji.
Eggplant emoji, colon, in the movie.
Whoa. Not that kind of movie, Thoreau.
This is called Love Again. And
that seems really gross, all of that.
Yeah, it really does. At number 4 this week at the box office. When her family moves from the city to the suburbs, an 11-year-old navigates new friends, feelings, and the beginning of adolescence.
Oh.
This is...
Yep.
say the words.
Oh, damn it.
Are you there,
there, God? It's me, Margaret.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you there?
I like saying it the other way around, as if God's trying to get a hold of Margaret.
Like, are you there, Margaret? It's me, Stephanie. Just leaving a message.
Yeah. Call me back. It's Ringo.
Yeah.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Love.
At number 3 this week, a twisted tale of two estranged sisters whose reunion is cut short by the rise of flesh-possessing demons.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Thrusting them
Tale as old as time
into a primal battle for survival as they face the most nightmarish version of family imaginable. This is the 5th film in this franchise, 2nd in the reboot, reimagining, legacy sequel, however you want to call
Thanksgiving.
Oh, Evil Dead.
Evil
Rise.
Dead Rise, yeah.
Rise, okay.
Yeah, Evil Dead Rise. At number 2 this week.
Did anybody happen to see Bruce Campbell on the panel for that? Like, there's a video clip. Like, some dude went to ask a question and there's just attempted to tear the movie down. And Bruce Campbell interrupted. It was like, why are you even here? Why the fuck are you here? You should leave. Why are you here? You know, like, we're not here to criticize this film.
Yeah.
That's not what we're here to do.
I love
it was great. He casually was just like, get the nerd out of the room, please, so we can go on.
I love Bruce Campbell's interactions with the press in general. He's like so like straightforward about shit in a way actors usually aren't.
Totally.
It's the chin.
Yeah. The chin. It holds magical powers.
I was just watching Fargo again. He plays Reagan.
Number 2 this week at the box office. A plumber travels through an underground labyrinth with his brother trying to save a captured princess.
With his brother. The Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, the Super Mario Brothers movie. I
thought it was fun. I saw it with my sister and nieces.
I haven't seen it
We had a
yet,
good
but
time.
I want to. I'm sure it's cute.
It was exactly what I expected a Super Mario CGI movie to be. It was fine. It wasn't bad. There was moments. But
it's a DreamWorks vibe the whole time.
Yeah.
I felt.
Some of the references were like a little on the nose for me. I mean, it's a Super Mario Brothers movie. What do you want? When they literally have to like press A to choose their Mario Kart. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Princess is in another castle.
At number 1 this week, still reeling from the loss of Gamora, Peter Quill rallies his team to defend the universe and one of their own, a mission that could mean the end of the Guardians if not successful. That's Creed. That's Guardians 3 opening at number 1. And that is the box office top 10. Which brings us to our character and comic book background. Al, There's someone in here at least we haven't talked about yet. You want to
Yeah.
tell us everything we need to know?
Yeah, I'm wondering if there were also someones that we did or did not talk about. But anyway, we'll start off with the High Evolutionary, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Everyone
First mentioned in the Mighty Thor number 133, and first appearing in the Mighty Thor number 134 in November of 66. He is depicted as a scientist who seeks to evolve different life forms, such as the New Men, a group of genetically and technologically uplifted animals.
New man. Sorry.
I want a new man. The guy that don't let you down.
Born Herbert Edgar Wyndham in Manchester, England in the early 20th century. He attended Oxford University in the 1930s, taking an interest in the work of genetic biologist Nathaniel Essex, a.k.a. Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister.
Wyndham began experimenting with genetic manipulation, creating a genetic accelerator machine. Wyndham was given blueprints for cracking the genetic code by an outcast inhuman geneticist, with which he developed a serum dubbed Isotope A. After being expelled from Oxford for his single-mindedness, Wyndham moved his experiments to Wundagore Mountain. With the help of collaborators, he was there able to create the genetically accelerated half-human, half-animal beings he dubbed the New Men. Wyndham eventually saw the Earth as too confining, converted his scientific research citadel into a spaceship, and took off with his New Men into...
Into what?
into space.
On tour?
Into a brilliant new future.
The High Evolutionary went about creating Counter Earth, a detailed replica Earth on the opposite side of the sun. And the history goes on and on. At this point in time, the High Evolutionary is a human mutate cyborg of immense intelligence with psionic powers, and his sentient armor grants him superhuman strength and durability, flight, regeneration, manipulation of matter and energy, and size shifting.
Sentient armor.
Sentient armor, yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't want anything I wear to be sentient.
Right. Knowing of its own existence.
Yeah.
Influencing
Not artificial.
Got your
Right.
butt a lot.
Be like, listen, I have to go to the bathroom. Can you just look away?
Please free me from this.
You said it was a good size.
Can you filter this in the thigh pads? Is what I would ask my sentient clothing.
Yeah, your sentient thigh pads.
It's like, can you process urine in thigh pads?
Moving on to Adam Warlock, created by Stan and Jack. First appeared in Fantastic Four number 66, September of 1967. Earth scientists calling themselves the Enclave create an artificial perfect human initially called simply him. Roy Thomas and Gil Kane significantly revamped him as the allegorical Messiah Adam Warlock in Marvel Premiere number 1 in April of 1972. In a 2009 interview, Roy Thomas explained he had been a fan of the soundtracks to the musical Jesus Christ Superstar and sought to bring the story to comic books in superhero context.
Wow.
Okay. Marvel Premiere is where Rocket first appeared, I believe.
I believe you're correct. Was it Rocket by himself or with the
He had a
Guardians?
4... Oh, by himself.
Okay. Let's see. Warlock's new costume, which I didn't get a description of his old costume if he had one. But his new costume with a red tunic and golden lightning bolt was an homage to Fawcett Comics character Captain Marvel. Back to the history. After a conflict with Thor, Pym travels to space and encounters the High Evolutionary, who gives him the name Warlock and the Soul Gem, asking for his help saving Counter-Earth from the Man-Beast. 4 teenagers on Counter-Earth gave him the name Adam.
Those teenagers and their slang.
Yeah.
That was an insult.
Adam Warlock's story continued in 8 issues of the title The Power of Warlock from 1972 to 73. Writer-artist Jim Starlin revived Adam Warlock in Strange Tales in 1975. Then 7 issues of Warlock, continuing the numbering system from The Power of Warlock. The character was again revived in 1991 in the Infinity Gauntlet miniseries, after which Warlock starred in Warlock and the Infinity Watch.
Live in concert.
Yeah, Warlock, Ted and Alice.
In Infinity Watch, you never have to wind it.
Never. And you could write with it upside down.
Warlock would
Zero G.
And underwater.
He would later become a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, serving as the group's cosmic sorcerer and occult expert.
I remember him from the Infinity Saga. Like, that's when I first... Yeah.
Warlock, in all his incarnations, possessed superhuman everything and the ability to...
Everything. And I mean everything.
Everything.
That's right, Peter. I've got a penis.
That's right.
And had the ability to manipulate cosmic energy for energy projection, flight, and a regenerative cocoon.
Man, could I use a regenerative cocoon?
No, right now. Functionally immortal. He can be killed, but cannot truly die, as death cannot claim his soul.
Functionally immortal.
Functionally immortal.
Okay.
You know, the more I think about it, it does make sense, but it's just funny. I think I'm functioning alcoholic or something today. I'm functioning immortal.
Warlock's powers increased with each resurrection, his cocoon allowing him to adapt to previous weaknesses and develop further cosmic abilities, such as quantum magic, teleportation, and wormhole manipulation.
You got to be careful whose wormhole you manipulate, though.
Yes, you do.
Always.
Next up, we have Aisha. I don't know if they ever called her that in the movie, but
yes,
did they?
Did.
Okay.
In the second volume, yes.
Okay.
Was she first introduced as another bad creation?
Aisha.
I think in this movie they kept calling her the High Priestess.
And they did in the second one, but then maybe she was just credited. I don't know if they did say it out loud, but I knew that was her name from when they first introduced.
This is one of the ones that I can't remember if we talked about before, but I wrote stuff down, so I'll say it anyway. First appeared as Paragon in The Incredible Hulk Volume 2, Annual Number 6 in 1977 by Len Wein, David Kraft, and Herb Trimpe.
Len.
First appeared as Her, or Kismet, in Marvel 2-in-1, number 61, March of 1980. I guess you wouldn't be Kismet yet in 1980. That came later.
I remember that character's name.
Paragon was the second attempt by the Enclave to produce a super powerful being that they could control. Born, quote unquote, before being fully formed, Paragon appeared as a muscular male figure. Battled the Hulk, overrode the Enclave's control, and sunk their headquarters before incubating into a regenerative cocoon, much like Warlock's.
And it had a hit single on the Billboard Top 20.
Only made it up to number 2. She later emerges from the cocoon in her blonde-haired, golden-skinned female form, wearing red swimsuit-like attire. You can see that in Sports Illustrated, 1980.
The regenerative cocoon issue.
As
we all waited for.
We all waited for. As a female replicant of Warlock, she took the name Her and sought Warlock to mate with him. Unfortunately, Warlock was dead at the time. Her reanimated his body, but without his mind and soul, he was forced to return him to his grave. That was one of her powers. She could reanimate living beings, but only the tissue, only the bodies could not revive their spirit.
So just a muscle memory, a meat puppet, if you will.
Yeah. Her sought another mate among some of Earth's most powerful men, eventually becoming a companion to cosmic hero Quasar.
It was going to be Warren Buffett, but
she changed her name to Kismet after the Arabic word for fate, then later still changed it to Aisha.
That's the Hebrew word. I don't know if they're distinguishing Arabic with Middle East.
Yeah, Aisha was one of the Prophet Muhammad's wives too.
Oh, I meant Kismet.
Oh, and Kismet is.
I've mostly only heard Jewish people use it as like meant to be. Oh, we were going to cross paths eventually. Anyways, sorry.
No, you're right. I've heard it most from Jewish speakers.
But they share many.
But yeah,
that's true.
Totally. They share a country, sort of.
Yeah,
share is a stretch,
but not quite.
Two brothers, a feud of two brothers.
Her/Kismet/Aisha has many, but not all, abilities similar to Warlock. No quantum magic, I believe. I kind of ran through some of the other ones really quickly, just by name, but after watching the movie, maybe I did a disservice to Cosmo the Space Dog. In the comics was a male dog, but was based on the Russian Cosmo dog, Laika, who's one of the first animals in space. Laika was a female, and that's why I think that's why James Gunn changed the character to female in this instead of male like the comics.
It's also a cuter dynamic.
It is.
Vocally and
I agree.
Like if they had Bruce Willis.
Well, and we've already got
barking now.
We've already got a talking raccoon that is a man, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
a female talking animal.
So
keep the woke mob at bay, you know.
All dogs are boys, all cats are girls.
And all raccoons are after my treasure.
Vicarious.
to appease the woke bitches, meaning female dogs.
Yeah.
Yep, all them bitches.
Cosmo is a golden retriever Labrador retriever mix. First appeared in Nova, Volume 4, Number 8, in January of 2008, and became the security chief at the space station Nowhere, and later a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
And let's see, we had Starhawk, Stakar of the House of Ogord. In this movie, Stakar Ogord.
What? He was in this?
Played by Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, so returning,
yeah. And this character first appeared in the Defenders number 27, September of 1975, with a cameo, full appearance following issue Defenders number 28 in October.
I remembered that red, like, dragon creature. You know, the one that couldn't talk that used emoji.
Yeah.
Can't remember its name, but I remember it from once. You know.
Others, we have Lila, the mutate otter, was from the comics. Teefs was based on Walrus, an anthropomorphic walrus, and Floor was based on Blackjack O'Hare, an anthropomorphic rabbit. Apologies to anyone that I missed. Sue me.
Yeah, we're going to be
Find
getting
me.
phone calls, Al, if you missed anybody. Phone calls.
Especially during our telethon.
Feeling particularly litigious today, Al.
All right, Al. Well, thank you for that.
Thanks.
That brings us to the production of the film, which went completely smoothly and had no hiccups whatsoever. No, I'm kidding. James Gunn got fired. He began pre-production for this in 2018.
When did Volume 2 come out?
2017? Yeah.
Okay.
2017. Yeah. He at that time told people that at that time told the press he was that this was going to be set after Endgame, and that it would tie things together, and he and Marvel both said that he was, quote, working with Marvel on the entire future of the Marvel Cosmic Universe.
I remember when they said that.
Before his firing, he was kind of supposed to be the guy in charge of the cosmic side of the MCU. That clearly all got upended. Because
it would have worked in every aspect because he had already set the template. We've said it before. Who thought the Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be probably one of the flagship properties? I don't know.
This is absolutely my favorite depiction of the cosmic MCU on screen. The Guardians side. I mean,
yes,
Thor and all of that. Like, there's good stuff in there, but this is the one that I'm like, yeah, I like this a lot.
Yeah. He killed,
Brian's making faces. But yeah, of course, he got fired after conservative commentators began circulating old tweets he made about controversial topics such as rape and pedophilia. They called for his firing. Walt Disney chairman Alan Horn had him fired. After that, the Guardians cast members rallied behind Gunn. There's online petitions. These were very old tweets. They were bad jokes.
Like Trauma when he was still working at that production company. Yeah. Stupid jokes that a young person and the early days of social media.
Yeah, someone who thinks they're being edgy. There wasn't anything like, I'm for rape. It was none of that kind of stuff.
Right. I was just going to say that. Unless you had insightful or just really, I don't know. If it's directed at someone or some group of people, but if you're just being distasteful, it's a tough call.
It is.
I live by that. I think it's like anything can be joked about, but not anything is funny. Not everything is funny. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can't joke about because that's ridiculous. But it better be funny if you're going to joke about rape.
Yeah.
You better really, really have something to say.
Yeah.
Gunn himself described the tweets as totally failed and unfortunate efforts to be provocative.
Yep.
And said his days saying something just because it's shocking and trying to get a reaction are over.
Yeah.
So it's it was a long time ago. I changed.
You have to allow people to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not destructive hate speech on the regular, you have to let people grow from their poor taste.
Yeah, making jokes in poor taste is not the same as like Roman Polanski. Like there are levels.
Right. Or using your platform to be like, this group of people shouldn't even exist.
Yeah.
Or these group of people should be taken down. You know, that kind of shit is inexcusable at any time. But dressing weird at a college Halloween party should not bring your whole fucking life down.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Basically what happened is after he made the Suicide Squad and Phase 4 was being met with less than stellar reviews, Disney just quietly said, like, you want to come back, James? There wasn't really any mea culpa. There wasn't like a whole lot of...
No, it was Loki.
Yeah. So...
Meanwhile, Al Franken is still retired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I got my history wrong, but I feel like they were talking about bringing him back even before he made the Suicide Squad.
They were. He was asked during the filming of the Suicide Squad.
What was his name? Alan Horn?
Yeah.
Something Horn?
Mm-hmm.
Said that he appreciated the way that James Gunn handled it.
Yeah, which... Okay, great. That's...
I mean...
Fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't go to war with them in the press,
Yeah.
which is probably their worst nightmare.
Right, there wasn't...
Well, all of his friends did, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
The cast,
Dave
definitely.
Bautista, like burned his Disney bridges. Like...
Disney bridges.
Anyway.
He's under the impression that's why he didn't get the call for the what's it called?
Oh, the What If?
What If?
Yeah.
But also I'm under the impression that he did get the call, or his publicist did, and said, "Nah, Dave only does movies."
You gotta love when publicists make decisions for actors, and later on the actor's like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah. Yeah. What a dumb career.
So yeah. So that, I mean, that's about it. It's not an especially interesting production. It's an MCU film. They made it. As far as that all goes, James Gunn, of course, wrote and directed it. All of our stars are back. Will Poulter technically was in Guardians 2. But
Was he though?
Was that him at the end? No.
It was just
a different
It was
him.
just a cocoon.
It was just a cocoon. It was just a prop.
And Aisha says Adam. Like,
I guess in my head I
shall
remember
call
seeing him, but I guess that's just a implanted memory.
Yeah, no, we had never seen him. Because it was interesting to see where, like, it wasn't the Soul Stone, but they still had that stone there at his widow's peak on his forehead, and then also the little skull, the little like animal skull that he always had. But anyways, no, we hadn't seen him before.
Okay, well, Will Poulter, he got his start. He is English. He got to start playing Eustace Scrubb in the Chronicles of Narnia: The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Oh, the Narnia movies were bad. He went on to be in the Maze Runner series. He was in The Revenant. He played the bear.
He's the mountain man, Jim Bridger.
Yeah. Which that was my dad was really, really into mountain men, and Jim Bridger especially. He had a kids Jim Bridger book, so I was very, very familiar with Jim Bridger and Hugh Glass.
Hugh Glass,
as a kid.
yeah.
The Revenant was it was weird to see that.
I love that movie.
No, it's a great movie. Leo is not what I ever pictured as Hugh Glass, though. But anyway.
Oh no, no, humans weren't fair looking. No. I don't know. Even old DiCaprio looks like young DiCaprio.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Let's see. He was in Midsummer, which was great. He.
We're the Millers is the first time I
Oh
noticed
yeah,
him.
yeah.
And that's not a very good movie.
Dope Sick. He was in that,
Ooh.
which was pretty good.
I always confuse him with the kid from Shameless, the redhead kid.
Yeah, no, he looks a lot. Who is that? Cal Kestis, the kid from
Is that his
Shameless?
name?
No. Cal Kestis is a character he plays in a Star Wars video game.
He was Jeremiah Vasquez in Gotham, who was basically their Joker.
Yeah. Oh, he was in an episode of
Alaska.
The Bear this season.
Oh, so back with Lip.
Yeah, kind of. They weren't on screen together, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we have as the High Evolutionary. I always love saying his name.
Mm-hmm.
Chukwudi Iwuji. My apologies. I'm sure that was a terrible mangling.
He's from Peacemaker, right? He was on that show?
Yep.
Okay. Because there's a lot of overlap in James Gunn, like the projects he was working on, Suicide Squad and Peacemaker.
I think that he met him doing Suicide Squad and then cast him for this as a result. I remember hearing him say that.
The chick that played the rat girl in Suicide Squad, she's in this. She's Kara, I think her name is, or whatever. Ura. That's right. Okay, anyway, sorry.
So Chukwudi Iwuji, again, my apologies. It was in a bunch of indie films. Did a fair amount of TV, mostly British. Hasn't had like a ton of really big roles. Probably this is clearly his biggest. Probably Peacemaker is his second biggest.
There has to be
John Wick
other...
Chapter 2 was probably the biggest thing he did prior to this.
Still Wiccan. It's another choice. I know there's at least one more that James Gunn made where the character has like a different color skin. I think his skin was purple or blue. Where they made the choice not to, and I think it's smart because it could get too wacky. Like they kept Thanos purple, but they've kept the Earthbound color palette, which I think is a good choice. I think it would have been strange if he was purple.
It would. They've been leaning towards more colorfulness in the MCU over the last 5 years or so, which I appreciate. But also, you can't really go full '60s Marvel palette on screen.
Right. That's what. Yeah, it would make it just too wacky.
Yeah. Linda Cardellini as Lila. This is her second MCU role.
I was gonna say,
she's Clint's
fantastic.
Wife.
Yeah, and she might be a sleeper agent. They've sort of alluded to. Why would they use? I just don't understand. She's fantastic as Lila.
Yeah, she embodies the role perfectly, but I found it to be a slightly distracting because it's Linda Cardellini and she's a very prominent, distinctive actress. Yeah.
And then it makes you think of her character already in the MCU.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah, that was weird. Nathan Fillion. What was the name of his character? Master Karja.
I got one of those.
Yeah. Nathan Fillion, always a delight. And that's about it for the production. There's not a whole lot to talk about on that.
Do you want to talk about the Christmas special at all?
Oh yeah. Let's.
They made that giant set, so they had to use it for something else.
I was gonna say that's why it doesn't seem like there was such a gap between the two movies, is because of Infinity War, Endgame, and the Christmas special. We've never stopped seeing the Guardians, really.
Yeah, there was a lot of Guardians in between 2 and 3. Infinity War and Endgame, together is kind of Guardians 2.5 in its own way.
And Groot had his own show.
Oh yeah, Baby Groot. I haven't watched that.
There are more episodes coming.
But I guess it's worth mentioning in the Christmas special we discover that Mantis is Peter Quill's sister. That's revealed there.
Yeah.
And there was a brief reference to the Christmas special at the end with the newspaper headline about Kevin Bacon.
That's right.
Otherwise, not much happens in the Christmas special. It's just kind of they kidnap Kevin Bacon, Mantis, and Drax.
Well, like Brian said, it sets up Nowhere as its own little sort of not civilization, but culture, community,
yeah,
individual culture.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's. I don't know if there's
that makes me think about the giant marble celestial sitting in the Indian Ocean.
Right.
When this happened, people had so many questions about Nowhere. What is Nowhere? What will we find out about Nowhere? When will we get an answer as to which celestial's head Nowhere is? And now, all these years later, it feels like it's very lived in.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to get that with the big marble celestial.
I wonder.
Like someone just squats into the giant celestial head in the middle of the ocean.
Eventually, the Avengers will squat in the head of the celestial. But we're asking all these questions now as like a fandom, whatever. But at some point, they're going to give us a little taste, and then we're going to see a movie with it in there, and then we won't go back to it. I have a feeling
that it was partly because of what's her name, her power that turned him to stone, right? So his head isn't hollow.
It might be. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
We can make it hollow.
I mean,
we have the technology.
I mean, it's in comparison to Nowhere. Like, yeah, it's a good question though.
I mean, I know there's been so much talk from myself and us included about like why people aren't talking about a giant celestial sticking out of the ocean.
Yeah.
I guess with a little bit of perspective, so much crazy shit happens on the MCU Earth. They're like, well, that's one of those things, I guess. I'm going to try to go to work now without, Spider-Man's villains destroying the block I live on.
Well, in the Celestial movie, they see one over London.
Right.
Yeah.
Like all of London sees it. So there's no question as to what that thing in the Indian Ocean is. Too.
Yeah.
It's clearly that same kind of big alien god thing, robot.
And what could have ripped off the head to be for Nowhere? So maybe Galactus. He's not a celestial, but he's.
I saw some like people are implying that it was Null.
Oh. Yeah, with the necro sword.
Yeah.
The God Killer. Yeah.
He'd been going around killing Celestials in particular, I guess.
All right.
Story we'll never see.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I do have a few letterboxed reviews. Ram less than 3, or maybe that's supposed to be a heart. Right. This is not a movie. This is a fucking apology letter. 5 stars.
To whom?
To the fandom.
Yeah, who's the apology?
I assume the fandom from Marvel Studios because of... I mean, let's be clear. The last 2 years of MCU films haven't been met with a stellar reception minus a Spidey here or there.
I hate that they're all judged as a whole. Instead of, I just don't understand it. It's like, why does one movie have to suck because Ant-Man wasn't as good as it could have been? I don't know.
Well, and that led to
I don't remember
Ant-Man,
judging film like that before.
I think that idea led to Ant-Man becoming this tent post thing instead of like a heist movie like it probably should have been.
Yeah. No, Ant-Man, yeah. Yeah.
They can stand alone. Eternals wasn't great, but we've talked about it a lot because it's fairly interesting, the things that happened in it. But I love Shang-Chi. I thought that was great. But I don't care that She-Hulk was one way. I don't know. It's so odd. It's one thing to judge like The Godfathers or a series of movies themselves and be like, okay, these as a whole. But it's just the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, there's going to be good and bad.
They can be separately judged.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Each film should be separately judged, I think.
It's that they did it to themselves by creating the phases.
Yeah, well, I think having a run that people didn't enjoy has led to them being more judged as a whole together.
Yeah. I don't like it.
But let's see. Emerus writes, utter codswallop. Half a star.
I feel like he was waiting to use that.
I don't know why, or I certainly don't agree, but codswallop is a word that we should bring back.
Is it a good or bad word?
Well, bad. It says half a star.
I don't know how he feels about it.
It's like I don't know, malarkey or blatherskite.
Yeah, it sounds like balderdash. It sounds like one of those words for sure. I was hoping it meant like thoughts and prayers.
I just saw this username. Gay Chavera writes.
Revolution.
Very furry centric if you're into that. 5 stars.
And surprisingly more people are into that than we would think.
Disturbing number. Yeah. And your mom's house writes, I miss the old Kanye. Half a star.
What?
He's the funny one in this group.
Yeah. That's about it, guys. You ready to jump into the movie itself?
Yes. So yes.
Yeah.
I've got to stop asking. All right, here we go.
My name is Shu because I'm seeing a shoe.
This is.
Sometimes you ask, and sometimes we have clever things to say, but
it's true.
Yes,
just not this time.
Not today. So, all right, here we go. This is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We open on a cage full of baby raccoons.
What do they call a group of raccoons?
Ooh, I don't know, Al.
Oh, what are they called?
A group of the collective noun for raccoons is a gaze of raccoons.
Huh. I thought it was going to be like bandit related or thieves or something.
Yeah, a cabal.
Or like a posse. Yeah, a cabal.
I feel like gaze is derived from their mask, but not bandit related.
It's good.
My own personal collective noun for geese is an asshole of geese.
An asshole of geese.
Because they're all assholes.
Because they suck. They are so many in around like lakes in Wisconsin that would chase us and bite us. I hate them.
Oh, in Sarita, Mimi had two when we were younger. So I don't know if you could picture the far chain link fence gate, and then there was, several yards to where her porch was. And when we were children, we had to book it because in the corner of the yard were these geese. And at one point, she had laid eggs, and the male was they were both extra protective. But I just remember being like 6, 7, mad dashing across the yard.
Yeah. No.
Fucking adults enjoyed it too much.
No, there were times like I'd be like out in the park with Jude and like an asshole of geese would start coming towards us. And like I'd have to like pick him up and like put him on my shoulders and like because they'd just come flocking trying to get us. Like, God damn it.
So yeah.
Fucking geese.
Geese.
Fortunately, there are no geese in this movie.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Canada put all of their hate and anger into their geese, which is why they're so nice. And Canadian geese suck so much.
They're sent down here.
So anyways, the high evolutionary picks out a raccoon. Spoilers, it's Rocket. Then we cut to Rocket in nowhere. He puts on the acoustic version of Creep. He does a little walk through town. Quill is drunk. He's angry at...
Super drunk.
He's angry at Rocket for touching his Zune. He passes out. The Guardians carry him, lay him down. That was apparently a big rubber Chris Pratt doll that she was carrying there.
Weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who ended up with that, I wonder?
Oh. And what
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently there were on-set hijinks with it. And Chris. But anyways. Kraglin's practicing his whistle arrow thing and hanging out with Cosmo. Then they get...
Wait, sorry. Because it's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
It's a great running gag.
Runs throughout. She shows him up with her telekinesis pebble, and then he calls her a bad dog and won't take it back.
Yeah, and she's very upset.
Very upset.
Yeah, it's like saying the N-word for dogs. It's like the worst thing you can call a dog.
It is. It's true.
Oh, Junie, she's sitting over here. In fact, my dog Jude reacted to hearing "bad dog" very loudly when I was watching this.
She was like, "How dare you?
Anyway,
what are you watching?"
Yeah, her ears perked up. It's like, who said that? What did I do?
They get attacked by Adam Warlock. He's coming in to crazy on you. He jets in, fights pretty much all of them over the course of a few minutes. Ends up critically wounding Rocket.
He tears off Groot's head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the body regrows from underneath the head.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Thing, which is great.
Yeah. Nebula ends up stabbing him, which upsets him so much he just runs away.
And it actually hurts him too.
Yeah.
Like that was the one thing that phased him through the whole thing.
He'd never felt pain before.
Like Drax was almost a match for him, but not quite.
Yeah. Yeah. So then they're trying to save Rocket with med packs, but it's creating some sort of feedback in him. Turns out there's...
So it's probably like you probably can't use a defibrillator on someone with a pacemaker, I would imagine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like something like that going on.
Yeah, yeah.
They call it a kill switch, which is quite appropriate. But.
I believe, because I took CPR training recently, if someone does have a pacemaker, you just have to reposition the defibrillator lower so it doesn't go through the pacemaker. Because the pacemaker's usually on the right side, which is where you would put one of the paddles. So you just have to do it like lower, I think. But don't quote me on that. I need to revisit my CPR training.
Yeah, anyone who has to use defibrillators on somebody right now that has a pacemaker, double check that. Don't just go by what Al said.
Yeah,
please don't.
And
it doesn't matter what condition.
You're in an emergency.
And make sure, no matter what condition they're in, you ask them if they have a pacemaker before you begin any life.
Yeah. I ask everybody a pacemaker before I interact with them.
He's having a heart attack. Do you?
Be like, can I take your order? Do you have a pacemaker?
Because you stole my heart. I don't know. That wasn't good.
Rocket is Nebula comes in and makes them stop using the med packs. As he's unconscious, we get a flashback to him as a baby raccoon. He was experimented on by the High Evolutionary. He gets thrown in a cage where he meets his fellow test subjects. We've got a walrus, a rabbit, and an otter. I think I was trying to say otter and walrus at the same time there.
A water.
Yeah. We don't yet learn their names because I don't have them yet.
The rabbit had a funny line, just like, does it words?
I know, I love that.
Yeah.
Does it words? All these flashbacks.
Rocket's first words are hurts.
Yeah.
This
fucking
Yeah, no, the whole everything with Rocket and these guys, like
every flashback is heart-wrenching.
This, even rewatching this just in while I was taking notes, just to go through, which I usually, kind of just like, all right, that's this scene, write it down, kind of skim through it. Like I was brought to tears 3 or 4 times just in that.
Yeah. Yes. It's made me misty.
Yeah.
Several times.
Then, so they discover that Rocket is considered the proprietary property of a corporation called OrgoCorp. Peter and the Guardians decide they're going to go to OrgoCorp to get the key to turn off the kill switch. It's code. It's a code. It's not like a literal key. They have to download it into Rocket. Nebula is going to call a contact to help them break in. We get another flashback of Rocket and his friends. They're playing and bonding. Then we meet the High Evolutionary in the present. He's mad at Aisha and Adam Warlock that he failed to retrieve Rocket. He wants Rocket back. Aisha and her people were created by the High Evolutionary, and he tells them if they don't find Rocket, he will destroy their entire civilization. We cut to the Orgosphere.
Ugh.
Yeah, which is gross.
Yeah, space butthole.
Yep. Yeah, it's a grown space station. It's all organic material.
This should have been the devil's anus. They definitely missed that opportunity.
Yeah, they did.
If we focus in on the anus part of the Orgo, what do they call it? The Orgo?
Yes, let's focus in on the anus.
So most of this ship is organic, right? We see them walking around and it is fleshy mushiness. There is a section to the right, like a little half moon of like dark black. It looks like charcoal almost, with like a little bit of like glowing light inside it. It was interesting because it looks more like a Kree technology, like what do they call Lee Pace's ship? The Dark Aster or whatever.
Yeah, the Dark Aster.
It was kind of twirling. It looked kind of like a double helix kind of thing going on.
I see what you mean.
Because it's a similar thing. Yeah. It looks like they're like
double helix would make sense.
There was an effort made to make even that technology look foreign while looking, within arm's reach of the rest of the universe. It was really, really neat to notice that on rewatch and being like, oh, if there's any details I missed. That was the only thing.
It's interesting, actually. Yeah, that's an interesting point. It's like an uncanny valley of architecture. Like we shuddered and we're like, ew, gross butthole, but it wasn't too gross.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It didn't preoccupy my thoughts once they were inside and doing all their. I didn't think about it too much, so it's interesting. It came up to that line of grossness without maintaining.
Yeah.
Interesting.
At the Orgosphere, the Guardians meet up with the Ravagers. It turns out the contact that Nebula was reaching out to is Gamora. She's going to help the Guardians infiltrate OrgoCorp, despite Peter's objections.
Yeah, it is a corporation. So High Evolutionary filed an LLC or whatever he needed.
He's like fucking Elon Musk is what he is.
Yeah. Some people call him a god. Some people just say he's good at paperwork.
I assume he has a blue-haired lawyer floating around somewhere.
Oh, definitely.
Scientist lawyer.
We get another flashback in which the High Evolutionary gets impressed by Rocket's rapidly growing intelligence, but then he gets angry when Rocket gets too smart.
Mm-hmm.
I like that as a thing for a villain. Such a small, petty thing.
Yeah, it's almost like the first story ever told sort of involves the same thing. Oh, Adam, look who knows shit now. Get out!
Think you're so smart.
I think you're so smart with your knowledge of
God
good
was
and
just
evil.
jealous. He's like, I wanted to fuck Eve, man. Come on. Zeus gets to fuck all these geese. I can't fuck my one creation.
Fine. I guess I'll just wait until Mary.
Yeah. I made this thing. It's super smart and impressive.
Wait,
It
now that I'm
wasn't
thinking
supposed to
about
be
it,
that smart.
Thoreau, that makes a lot of sense.
Well,
God,
Mary being God's rebound for Eve. Sorry, this is getting really we're getting down some weird paths here.
He couldn't find a single girl. Anyways.
It's more fun when you get him to cheat, I guess.
all of Judea there was.
That's his fetish. Yeah.
Like he was Kinnison. Somebody like, all right, well, that better be all of God's kids. I'm not gonna raise. All right.
Let's see. We get the scene where they break into the Orgosphere. All the stuff with the suits and the multicolored suits and the bits.
God, the bit about the buttons and the colors making sense to Mantis. I love that. That's where James Gunn shines, is the it's like Alien had the like trash truck drivers in space. These are like idiots who would be running a McDonald's overnight in space.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where it's like, how did you get here? How did this situation get so stupid?
And it's so human at the same time. Ask any electrician.
Yeah, it's
none of our color codes make sense in any situation.
They all come across as being like underslept.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're just like, I'm just fucking tired, man. Another adventure. God damn it. That's what I want. It's like Tony Stark. There were moments where we got that, but most of the Marvel heroes are like, fuck yeah, another adventure. I'm gonna save the world. The Guardians are like, shit. Can we just like eat Zarg nut?
Yeah, can we just relax?
That's why the stakes had to be that high. Because you're right. What else would have gotten Peter to stop drinking? What would have gotten any of them to care?
Well, and the stakes aren't that high. It's not like the High Evolutionary is going to get Rocket's brain and change the world overnight.
No. This whole thing
They're
is
just going to kill their friend.
It's just personal. It's just to save Rocket.
Just personal.
This has the smallest stakes since Ant-Man, the first one, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
You're right. But the personal stakes, yeah, but you're right.
But the personal, it has the highest stakes emotionally because this is a character that we have seen in what I think 4 movies now prior to this one.
But I think the Guardians have been dismissing distress calls for a while. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not doing their Guardians-y shit.
When they left Thor, they didn't do much, which is interesting because how did they get here after leaving Thor and Love and Thunder?
It's not to get completely distracted from that question. This is a lot like Iron Man 3. Happy gets hurt and sends Tony on a fucking rampage that is relatively foolish. Hijinks ensue. The situation gets out of hand.
Yeah.
Weird. I didn't. Yeah. The stakes are the same too. It's like, you hurt my friend.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to. But
Werewolf by Night. That was the whole conceit of that. Like, you've got my friend.
Yeah.
I'm not even judging this whole scene. Your whole vibe. I'm not judging. You have my friend. Yeah.
I guess they left Thor and basically just came back to nowhere to hang out.
I assume that they stopped a bunch of places on the way because it seems like they've been adventuring a lot, and I don't think that those adventures were like pre-end game, I guess is what I'm saying. 'cause
Yeah,
Quill
no.
was gone.
That's true. It definitely seems like they were doing a lot. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
So
Well,
there's a
and
lot
I
that we
think-
just didn't see,
Yes.
like a Star
I
War.
think- I think Peter had sort of a peak, and then he's gone to hit rock bottom, because in the Christmas special, he's clearly depressed. They're trying to cheer him up. That's the whole point. But he's obviously not like Bender drunk yet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think after Love and Thunder, they had some stuff, and then he just started slowly getting more depressed.
Well, and it's implied that they just encountered Gamora recently for the first time, and he was a little bitch about it.
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm like that? What do you mean? I love that fucking reaction.
And he brings it up, but he's less affected by the fact that he almost fucked up the Infinity plan. You know, like they had Thanos, they had him,
They just had him.
Yeah.
and it was
Well, and
Peter.
Peter would have been fine if Gamora had died.
Mm.
You know, not fine. He would have been like, I killed my girlfriend and wrecked the universe, but we all came back. But since she's back and she's an asshole, he has to see that and deal with that every day. I feel like this happened quickly. Like they're like, dude, what the fuck? You were fine. And then we saw Gamora. I love that James Gunn can do a bunch of stuff like this, and we can build it in our heads and not have it be like, well, we're having to create this in our heads for the movie to work. You know, because there have been a lot of instances of that lately. Like we were trying to figure out how Shazam worked. We're like, well, if we give them this much credit, you know, they'll
Whereas
comes together.
Yeah, whereas James Gunn just is
it's like Star Wars.
Yeah, it just works.
You know? I don't know what happened in between, but it was probably exciting, but not as exciting as this.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Star Wars always felt like. They're like, what does Obi-Wan and Anakin say to each other? They're like, oh, that time you saved me on that one planet.
You're like, no,
It's
that
like-
one doesn't count.
like that's what
Or
that
that-
shit feels like.
Yeah.
That meme, there is a meme out there where it's like, we fought together in the Clone Wars. It was like people in the 70s like, the what?
That's right. That is literally how I felt at like 5, 6 years old, being like, the what now?
I still want to know what the Journal of the Wills is from that first fucking novelization.
Just hearing the Clone Wars.
That's hilarious that you brought that up, because someone just sent that to me like 2 minutes ago.
Huh.
That
2
meme?
minutes ago. Oh, wow. I saw it recently.
That meme. Like,
Damn.
you fought in the Clone Wars? The what?
Yeah, the zoomed in face, that meme.
This reminds me of like, so how did World War II go? Oh, wait. What year is it? What do you mean World War II?
Or the one guy that called World War One, World War One.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Like, stop.
What are you?
Stop saying that, Jeff.
He's like, I thought the Great War was a fine title.
No, there's going to be another one.
So, they break into the Orgosphere. We get a needle drop of In the Meantime by Space Hog.
This is one of my favorite needle drops in this movie. I've listened to this song probably 100 times since the movie came out because of this. The phone tone that the whole thing is built around, you hear that phone tone. I love this needle drop because you see the High Evolutionary finding out that Rocket is smarter than him, and then you get the like he has a busy signal. I was like, there's a lot happening like audio wise right now that they're just kind of feeding us with that, because he's so damn good.
This movie in general, I think, has some of my favorite needle drops of all time in some ways. Certainly in the Guardians films, which have a lot of great needle drops, but I've set aside at the end a soundtrack, Guardian soundtrack section, so we can talk about that a little.
This has some of the strongest and I think some of the weakest in the Guardians movies.
All right. Well, that's interesting that you have a little sub section to talk about. Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't like Crazy on You at all. I thought it was a bad choice for Adam Warlock to arrive on.
If knowing about the whole Jesus Christ Superstar thing, how great would it have been to be the overture to that? The bum bum bum.
Well, let's talk about it in this little segment.
But so all right, so the yes, they break in, they meet Nathan Fillion. They
which again, James Gunn, the other thing he does well, casual conversations that just drag on way too long.
Yeah, for no reason. He loves to stop for bits, but it never feels like we're stopping for bits.
Everything Marvel does feels like they are copying what James Gunn does here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw that James Gunness in that movie we watched recently, that super low budget superhero movie. But yeah, that was nothing but fun conversations, like an early Noah Baumbach movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you got to just be listening.
The Russos do it really lean and mean. They're the only other ones that pull this off, but it's like quick. It's like, whereas these are just conversations. It's
when
you
he
guys sitting in the toilet next to each other kind of thing, like talking to the stalls,
they were leaning. Yeah, he's like, and then he makes the car thing and embarrasses that dude.
And I'm sure we've all been there. And if you haven't been there, people are making shit up and you're saying that you understand them.
Yes.
Yeah, you just haven't been aware.
Yeah, if you don't have a Todd in your friend group, sorry, you're Todd.
Well, no, I love
Dane Cook.
I love the way I love the way the one guy leans forward. He's like, "What? I thought you said something else."
Yeah, he's like covering for himself. That's how it happens. That's exactly how those conversations happen.
Because every day he has to take shit from his boss, and he just can't win.
No.
I feel bad for that guy. Actually.
Yeah.
The boss's kid, whatever.
Yeah, no, because I've seen both situations like where it's like, oh man, my boss is just a dick to me, and we're like, this fucking guy working for me, man, god damn it,
he's an idiot.
So they do some. We get. I'm not going to go through every beat of this, but basically, they're sneaking, fighting, hostages. Groot ends up flying the ship into the sphere.
And it looked fucking cool.
Yeah.
It looked cool. I love that that's the question that he asks.
Yes. I love the ongoing bit about Gamora not being able to understand him.
Well, and it's interesting watching it again. The we all speak Groot thing later on. We'll get to that. But there's more and more stuff that we can understand contextually that Groot is saying than in previous movies.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like before he was like, I am Groot, and they're all like, language. We're like, oh shit, I have no idea what he said, but it was really bad to say to a parent figure. Whereas everything he says in this movie is contextualized like lightly through the conversation around him, and so we subconsciously are like, oh, I know what he's saying.
That's a good point.
It's really clever. It's really, really well done. And
from the first one that, they're walking across the thing, he's like, Mantis, can't you just touch him and make him feel better? I am Groot? Like that.
No,
yeah.
not sexually.
You're right. We knew that's what he was saying. Just, the dim-witted, the Cliff-Clavidness of it.
Yeah. James Gunn writes these characters so fucking well. It's crazy. It's crazy watching Filoni writing his characters that he loves, and sometimes he doesn't bat 100, whereas James Gunn with his characters
every time, he
bats 100.
I am beyond excited to see what he does with the DC universe because I am
very curious. Superman will be everything.
Fair. DC has such a spotty track record. I guess it's hard to be really excited.
Yeah, Superman will make or break the entire DC and possibly.
You're telling me you think James Gunn can top a baby in a microwave?
I hope he makes a baby in a microwave joke.
I mean, all I've got to say is already I see his casting is better than anyone that what's his face Snyder cast.
It's fucking what's her face? Miss Maisel is Lois Lane.
Perfect Lois Lane. The most perfect Lois Lane I could imagine.
Yeah, I didn't even consider her. And once I read
love affair with journalism.
Yeah.
He's a fast typer and a fast talker.
So we get another flashback of the lab animals. They talk about flying away into the sky. They give themselves their names. Oh, Jesus Christ. These flashbacks.
I know. Just gut-punching.
Oh.
Kid's Bambi.
What was that, Ryan?
This is going to be a whole new generation of kids Bambi. Because I remember watching Bambi as a little kid and being like traumatized by it.
Sure.
I think this is going to do that same thing to a lot of like 9 and 10-year-olds who are just not ready for this.
The never-ending story with
Yeah,
that fucking
that was
horse.
rough.
That got me as a
In the
kid.
swamp,
Vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That fucking killed me as a kid.
What was one? There was another, and it wasn't like a
He died of
old
sadness.
yeller.
The Last Unicorn also
It
got
does.
me when I was a kid.
So real quick, he mentions it a little later to Peter that he had visited our planet and admired many things about our planet, but obviously he thought it was imperfect, and he took subjects because later we see that on the printed thing, North American raccoon, yada da da. So I think like his idea was that I like Earth, I like what you came up with it. I don't like humans. Well, what if the animals evolved instead?
Yeah.
And turns out again, same thing as they have jobs. And fucking, there's a mailman. Like, it sucks. It still sucks. Like, they still have capitalism and they still have this work until you die ethic.
Yeah, it's still the same society in essence.
Still the same.
Is there a communist country on the other side of Counter Earth?
Exactly. I wonder.
Yeah.
Is that developed too?
I wonder how big the racism is there, where like, the bat people, you don't date the rabbit people.
Like we were saying. Yeah. Maybe that didn't get recorded, but we were, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there is interracial marriages.
If I were a bat and I couldn't
I'd be pissed
fly,
if I were a bat.
I'd be so mad.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
be like, give me this stupid face and these
Bipedal.
sensitive ears, and I'm stuck walking around.
And I have to live my life in the day.
In the day.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm nocturnal, bitches. What the fuck is this society?
I'm gonna send mail. I don't know.
Yeah, so Adam and Aisha, meanwhile, travel to counter Earth. Peter, Groot, and Nebula take the Buick and head to the Arit.
Oh, the first F-bomb in a Guardians franchise.
Yeah.
Is it in the MCU? They've almost said it. And then cut lots of times.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Peter finally is like, yeah, now open the fucking door.
Did the animals design the cars, or did the High Evolutionary just steal like a catalog?
That's what I'm talking about. Like, how much did he interfere in their societal evolution?
Right, because if he just...
At what point did they realize they needed a paper mail system?
No.
Right?
Yeah, no, because either he set it up to look just like the Midwest in the early 80s, late 70s, or like Josh was saying, it just evolved that way.
Right, I'm talking the minutia.
Counter Earth was only brought into creation, 15, 20 years ago? Depending on how old Rocket is.
Right.
So, like, yeah, the High Evolutionary, he couldn't just wait for them to figure out a Buick.
He's trying...
Or shag carpeting.
He's like...
No, he did that. That was a choice.
Or macrame pillows.
I have a certain aesthetic in mind.
Yeah. When I visited Earth, there was a little thing called disco.
He evolved these creatures by a million years and just dropped them into his version of a planet.
Yeah.
It's a terrarium, basically.
Yeah.
Everything he creates is like that a Treehouse of Horror Simpsons, where Lisa accidentally creates that society in the petri dish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Bart becomes the devil. She's the god. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So every time High Evolutionary does something, it's kind of like that.
He's basically...
Sometimes he leaves it to float in the galaxy. Sometimes he pays attention.
With Counter Earth, it's basically the same as like when you get like a castle and put it in your fish tank.
Yep.
He's decorating it for them.
I think he settled on Counter Earth because of the real estate and property values were so affordable. Because it's late 70s America. You could buy a house very cheaply on Counter Earth in 1975.
Hard to fill your tank with gas, but
that's right.
Easy to buy a house.
That damn peanut eater was in the White House. By peanut eater, I mean gerbil.
So Drax and Mantis stay in the suburb with Gamora and Rocket, while Groot,
President
Nebula,
Gerbil Carter? Is that what you're getting at?
Gerbil Carter.
Sorry, I wonder if this wasn't a choice by a gun because of when Counter Earth in the comics was created in our time in the 70s.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. That's as far as.
So
anyway, back to the plot.
Yeah, so we get another flashback. Rocket frees his friends so they can run away, but the High Evolutionary shows up and kills Lila. Rocket is enraged and mauls the High Evolutionary's face.
Okay, I'm going to bring it back to Brian's point as far as traumatic moments. Rocket's scream of anguish. Bradley Cooper channel did something for this animated character because that is just it's shattering. The way he just screams with anguish and rage and frustration.
He deserves an award for this performance. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, he does.
He does the baby Rocket voice too, right?
I think
is that
so.
him
Yeah.
also?
Yeah, I believe
Like,
so.
yeah, there's a ton of
Well, I mean,
emotion in that, which is crazy because it's just a furry animated character.
It's crazy to me how
But
much.
I think it's the same. Yeah.
It's crazy to me how much emotion I feel from a CGI raccoon.
Or Tree.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, this was the one where we understood him the most.
As a character, this is the first time that Rocket truly knows grief.
Mm-hmm.
The very first time. He's had a
Very
happy
first
life
time.
with his friends. Okay, he's a little shit on by dad, but like pure grief, this is it. And it just explodes.
Yeah.
And then he sees it repeated throughout his life, even so that right up to conversations with Thor, where Thor's like, I have nothing left to lose. Rocket's like, me, I don't know. I got stuff to lose. I still have things to lose. I've lost people.
Well, and then Teefs and Floor end up dying also. The Rocket is able to get himself a ship and escape.
Oh, did we point out that Rocket has been picking up little items every time that he talks to High Evolutionary? You see him like looking at stuff and then just like stuffing it into his collar constantly.
Yeah, and he ends up.
He's a scavenger by trade, like by
He's a little
nature.
raccoon.
He's a raccoon.
by nature.
Raccoon. Damn it, he's just yes. But
They will
and he
steal
ends up,
shiny objects.
and he ends up making a key card to unlock their cages
that he carries with him in every movie. Every scene in every movie, he's wearing that thing.
Yeah, he always keeps it with him, and at the we'll get to the point at the end where he uses it again. But so they arrive at the labs. Nebula is forced to wait outside by the guards as Peter and Groot go inside. Drax,
she has to wait with Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yes. Drax tricks Mantis into following them.
Just gonna ride the moped back to the ship right there.
Yeah.
Do some donuts and then ride
God
back.
damn it. That is such a Big Brother, like a dumb Big Brother thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are we going? We're going
And
to
her-
the creek now.
Her immediate scream, too. Yeah, God. Perfect.
Meanwhile, Adam attacks the ship. Gamora saves Rocket from being captured by Adam. And then the pig guy. Meanwhile,
I think it was a she.
A pig girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the
War
voice
Pig.
actress?
War
It
Pig.
was somebody famous.
Yeah. Dang it.
Let's see. War Pig was.
And who's also doing movies. These movies. She was in Ant-Man. What's her name? The ex-wife.
Evangeline. Oh, the ex.
No, the ex-wife.
Judy Greer is
Yes,
Judy
yes.
Greer.
Judy
That's
Greer
right.
played
War
War
Pig.
Pig. Awesome.
I knew it was
her
somebody
husband or yeah.
Well, yeah.
Call me War Pig.
And D. Bradley Baker voiced Blurp, noted voice actor who does all of the
R2D2?
No, Not
No?
not Ken. That's Ken Baker. Kenny Baker.
Oh, Kenny
His RT.
Baker. That's
D.
right.
Isn't he
Brad.
the clones?
He's the clones. He plays all of the clones.
That's right. He's the Bad Batch, basically.
Yeah.
Also, I thought Cosmo was Ana de Armas until I saw the credits. I don't know who she actually was.
She's
but
the chick from
sounded
Borat.
like her.
It's the girl from Borat.
Oh,
The one that Giuliani
Yeah.
fixed his pants in her general
Oh.
direction.
Mhm.
oh, wow! Right.
Yeah.
Fucking guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, she's incredible.
Speaking of voicing, though, real super quick, Arlene Sorkin passed away. She didn't get as
Yeah.
much attention as Bob Barker, but the original Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Rest in peace.
I guess I should mention a couple of the other like voice things. Like Tara Strong voiced Mainframe, who was that was Miley Cyrus
She's
in
Miss
Volume
Mi-
2.
Oh, that's right.
Tara Strong's Miss Minutes, and she's a famous voice actor.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Michaela Hoover is Floor, and Asim Chaudhry is Teefs.
Oh.
Wasn't he? Is he Mo? Is that the guy from Mo? I forget where he's from.
He is.
It's from England, it sounds like.
Yeah, he's definitely British. He was in Wonder Woman 1984.
That walrus gets some work.
He does. He was also in Barbie. Huh.
As a walrus?
As a warehouse employee. He's Abel in The Sandman.
Oh. Oh, that guy. He was in The Flash.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
it's a
Barry's-
different guy that I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Is he Barry's boss? But yeah, he was Kane in Sandman. I know who you mean. He looks like. Never mind.
It looks like some guy. All right. So, anyways, Peter and meets with the High Evolutionary, who says he doesn't like the imperfect society that the Animen have. So he destroys Counter Earth. He killing all the Animen. Aisha dies too. Arit departs as a spaceship. Nebula, Drax, and Mantis all get on board while it's departing to rescue Peter and Groot, who instead escape Arit with Theo, getting the code from his corpse before being rescued by Gamora in their ship.
Yeah.
Fucking genius. I love this plan. I love everything about this plan. Put the guns inside the kid and had turn the kid into an airplane.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the plan. Like, it's fucking genius.
Gamora almost kills them because she doesn't know how to fly their ship.
Yeah.
Right.
This is one of my only gripes about this movie was the odds of her flying in that direction and ending at that point are astronomically small. And it was just a little, I was like, is this necessary for this tension to be here? That's all.
Kismet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. It's true.
It's the Force. Just anything that happens that doesn't make sense is the Force. Wait, wrong franchise. Anyways. So Peter starts using the code to try to save Rocket, who flatlines and has a near-death experience where he reunites with Lila. Oh my God. It was
Another
waterworks for me in
I
this
know.
scene. Lila tells him his time hasn't come yet. He said,
that
"Can I
was-
come?" And she says, "Of course,
Of course.
but not yet."
Just before that, there was the whole scene where Mantis was defending Drax's stupidity,
Yes.
and then has to wipe his mind so he doesn't remember that she said those things.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, he's stupid, but he's fun.
Yes. But he's my idiot kind of thing.
So yeah, they're able to use the code. They disable the kill switch and restart Rocket's heart. Drax, Nebula, and Mantis.
You should have played Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue.
They find a lot of genetically modified kids in Arit before being captured.
So they're his next experiment.
Yeah. Yeah. The other Guardians decide to stage a rescue mission that leads to a battle against the High Evolutionaries' forces. They kind of
Hellspawn?
Yeah. They end up just kind of crashing into the ship. They all reunite, and then we get the fucking hallway scene.
I like that the team is separated and just miss each other in passing. It's a classic. I mean, that's like some Star Wars shit too. But for them to get onto the ship while they're getting off the ship at the same time,
yes,
that's where I want the tension to be. You know,
totally. How discordant they often are for being a team.
It's like the U.S. military and all the other militaries we are chaos. Expect chaos at all times from the American military.
Yeah,
and our cooperation with each other. Yeah,
well, because we use it to our advantage. I mean, it's like institutionally, the military thrives on a little bit of chaos. But yeah, so do the Guardians.
Yeah, absolutely.
This military propaganda. Welcome to my TED Talk.
No, but they showed it even when they were at the Bat People's home, sitting around the table. Just again, how discordant they can be. They're yelling at Drax about laying down. Nebula is impressed with the refreshing beverage that they have. It's just like
I thought you said the bad people, Josh. I was like, go to the bad people's house. I was like, is that really his house?
Then all of a sudden you're looking through my drawings. Who's this person standing? There's mommy. Yeah. There's daddy, right? Okay.
So we get the hallway fight. It's all one shot to No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
And so many classic Rocket poses from the comic strip, where his legs are in the air like Spidey, and he's kind of shooting down. The guns in the air over his head. Yeah,
I love that every single member of the Guardians got to have their moment, as the focus
in their own unique way. Like Star-Lord puts a mine on the guy's dick, and then it explodes.
Yeah.
But they're like rolling off of each other's backs and stuff. Like we were just saying, they are discordant. But in this moment, those doors open up because they didn't have a plan. They didn't discuss anything. But Rocket's like, I'm tired of running. Like, I'm going to go through. That's the only way through this problem is through. That's cool.
This is my other needle drop that I don't particularly care for.
Really?
I fucking love this song. I just think, and I get that, like he wanted something slow because it's a slow song. It's like dragging slow. But there are so many other songs I think that would have worked. That like this is like one of the most famous songs from the Beastie Boys. It's just weird for it to be this song of all songs. I mean, if it was like Intergalactic,
I'm glad it wasn't Sabotage again.
Yeah,
I would have complained about that just as much.
People love to use that one.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't Sabotage. I don't know what else would have been good there, honestly.
It's just weird because they're in space.
They
No
are.
Sleep Till Brooklyn is like a thing I want people to like fight through the tunnel to get into New York to kill zombies or something. Or like rob a bank.
Intergalactic, maybe then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kid Rock or something. I'm just kidding.
bound to bang bow.
Limp Biscuit. They did it all
Smash
for the
Mouth?
Nookie. Push.
Oh my god.
Barbie
Push,
movie.
man. Fuck. Oh my god, I can't get that song stuck out of my head.
So
if you haven't listened to on Spotify or Apple Music, look up the Gosling
His version
from this. Yeah, his version.
Oh my god.
Because he's so he's into all the different
emphasizes so many.
I'm gonna push you out. Yeah, I will. All right. Anyway,
Katie and I have been singing that at each other for weeks, man.
because he's a singer. He started on the Mickey Mouse Club and shit. He is quite a good singer. But he's doing
so
all
good
of
that he can be bad.
Is it the Goo Goo Dolls? Is that
Matchbox 20.
Matchbox.
No, but he's doing all of that 90s bad white guy soulful. Yeah.
Eddie Vedder.
So anyways, meanwhile, They've contacted Kraglin. He fires on Arit with Nowhere. And then they start saving Nowhere's citizens from a counterattack by the Hellspawn. The High Evolutionary's crew mutiny, but he kills them all.
I love that as they're pairing up, as the plan goes, and he's like, Cragula, back in action.
Yeah.
I guess that's a mashup of Nebula and Kraglin.
Cragula. Mantis?
That entire planet of people dies.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Just kind of quietly happening underneath us when the movie is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. 15 years, that's a good run for most of those animals, right?
I know how God it is.
Probably. Let's see. Mantis befriends the obelisks, the three big monsters guys that she rides.
That we
I
met
love
in the
this
second
choice. I love this choice so much. This is such a simple way to show that she is special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
one.
Where
You know?
she Nebula's been shitting down her throat the whole movie. It's like, you're useless.
Yeah.
You're stupid and useless.
I love
doing
how
this wrong.
every member of the Guardians gets their time. He doesn't neglect any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
And
Kraglin.
it's
Yeah. Kraglin
Even
gets a little
Cosmo.
too much love for many
Even-
days.
even Howard makes his third
Yeah.
final appearance.
Yeah.
But damn, what to say? All right, carry on. Sorry. Oh, Mantis and those creatures. Yeah. It further strengthens his underlying point of like different levels of intelligence. You know, like who gets to say
Yeah.
what's a higher life form and what's not? Because in the second Guardians, we see Drax split one of those things open from the inside and outside.
Well,
they both do
Ne-
it at the same time. Yeah.
Nebula did, technically.
Or Gamora, she slides down with
Gamora does, you're right.
the sword. But you know what I mean? We saw one of them slaughtered. And it took Mantis to remind us, like, they eat batteries. They don't eat people.
Right.
You know,
they're worried
we knew
about
that.
what we're going to do to them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they're interdimensional creatures.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
They're
power
not-
cosmic, like, comes out of their mouth.
Yeah,
like-
they're not from our plane of existence.
No.
Which is
You know what I
really
mean,
cool.
right? Like that,
Yeah, the
that,
rainbows,
rainbowy, like, thing that
Yeah.
James Gunn uses.
The rainbow pop
Power
rocks.
cosmic.
The skittle
Adam
breath.
has it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skittle
There you go. I tasted the rainbow. This is what happened.
Rocket discovers a cage full of baby raccoons and a bunch of other imprisoned animals. This is where he gets to use the key to open up their cage and rescue them. All the baby
And they
raccoons
don't-
clinging to him.
Yeah, he just puts them all on him. So sweet. And they don't say anything, but he's from Earth as well.
Yeah.
Like Peter.
He finally realizes he is a raccoon.
Mm-hmm.
But just then, the High Evolutionary attacks him. The other Guardians show up and they help fight the High Evolutionary. At the end, he's laying there faceless, and Rocket chooses not to kill him. Which, that's that right there. That is like, that's obviously the, emotional center of like who Rocket is as a person and character is like the big thing is he's not going to kill the High Evolutionary.
Well, but he kills people. He is a murderer.
Rocket?
He just walks in and starts blasting people.
No, Rocket
Yeah.
kills a lot of people, but
He kills a lot of people in all of these movies. So this is a cool way to close that arc of him being now like Quill. Not going to kill anybody. Come on, man. The Guardians of the freaking galaxy.
It's the way that, like, you can be pro-military to the hilt and be like anti-death penalty. Like that paradox kind of. He's like, no, he needs to live with this
Yeah.
bullshit. Look at him with his face ripped off. Like
At least
I
long
did
enough
that
until the
before.
ship explodes.
yeah.
Yep.
So, well,
Yep. Well, that's a force majeure.
there is a deleted scene of him and in nowhere. And if you look closely, you can see Groot carrying him over his shoulder. So Groot gets him out of the exploding ship. He survives this movie.
Interesting.
Spoiler alert. I know we're not there yet. He lives.
But So
It would make
He
sense
did
to
not
keep
kill
him.
himself.
If they do go ahead with Secret Wars, it would make sense to keep him because he obviously can either terraform or create societies rather quickly.
And he has a vendetta against them, and Kang will use him
Yeah.
as a
Like
tool.
it could be one of
That's
his
my
planets. Don't you know what I mean? Like one of his abandoned planets, or one of his, where he started
Yeah.
a project and it failed. Instead of the Beyonder, excuse me, the Beyonder, just putting him up some rando.
Okay, I don't want to complain too much about Secret Invasion really quickly, but
Invasion. That
here's another guy. He
I
can
meant Secret
make
Wars.
he can make planets. He can make a planet. He can make a planet.
I don't know if he can make a planet from scratch. That's why I said terraform in quotes. Like the Genesis project.
Sure.
But
Star
he does it.
Trek.
He does it for money.
Mhm.
He's a private
Like,
dancer.
They could work it for money. You know, I feel
Well,
about
okay,
that
I mean,
song.
here's the
Worst song ever. Why didn't they just pay the High Evolutionary to make the fucking scrolls a planet?
Why
God
didn't
damn it.
they drop the scrolls on any of the
On any
hundreds
planet.
or dozens of planets that seem to be mostly uninhabited?
Well,
Yeah.
okay, let's just talk about the two that are uninhabited. One being Titan, right?
Mhm.
Isn't that what that's called? And then the other being the Garden, which has plants and shit growing on it. Like,
Right, an ecosystem.
But between Thor: Love and Thunder and this one, like we see and the Guardians in general, we see lots of planets. We see many, many planets that seem to have like a village, and that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, the scrolls did get kind of fucked. It's like Carol Danvers was like the weed dealer who was constantly on their way,
Yeah,
It's
but never arrived.
yeah, I left 15 minutes ago. I know it's only 5 minutes away, but I had to stop somewhere real quick.
I'd be like, well, this is before cell phones, so how are you calling me?
I think that Marvel
You're obviously not
opened
on your way.
they open themselves up to this question being asked forever now, because this is not a thing that they can go back and fix.
No,
You know, because they kind of closed that off, and now they're going to fix it. They're going to give them a planet and get them off of the Earth. I'm sure at some point. Whatever.
Well, I could
But,
talk
like-
for hours about the shittiness, the way they handled that. But
Oh yeah,
Secret Invasion was a misstep in every possible way. It was so.
but
bad.
this just makes me ask more questions about that. And this came out before this, or this came out before Secret Invasion did. It's just crazy to me that they didn't look at this and say, "Wait, there's another planet opportunity." Fuck, man, that's like 3 of them. People are going to notice this, right? Right?
You'd think.
I noticed it, and I'm stupid.
I think people notice it. And how long is Rhodey? Never mind.
Yeah.
well, that.
We should do an episode on that show just so we can complain about it for an hour.
Well, there are several Marvel shows. I think we've tossed it around. But anyways, where were we at?
that one would be quick and dirty.
Very
It
dirty.
would. Yeah, it would be an episode.
So all right. They help the animals escape to nowhere. Peter almost dies trying to cross over, but he's saved by Adam, who had a change of heart after being saved by Groot from a reed.
I love this. I love everything about this.
The Da Vinci
The creation of man.
creation of
Yes.
man homage.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes.
Just
finger
the
session.
way that he's like leaning at the stupid angle and everything. His
Wait,
face
is
all
that Da
fucking
Vinci or-
swollen. It's Michelangelo.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's-
Yeah.
That's the chapel. But yes, creation of Adam.
Yeah.
Or Adam, thank you. Not man.
So everyone's safe in nowhere. We get a denouement. Peter says he's going to leave the Guardians. He says Rocket's the captain of the Guardians now. Mantis
I'm the captain now.
Mantis is going to leave with the Obelisks. Gamora reunites with the Ravagers. Nebula and Drax remain on Nowhere to help raise the rescued children.
Gamora can finally understand Groot.
Yes.
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 She's picked it up.
And
I want to real quick. We kind of jumped over, but Gamora says something very important to Peter that I think is sort of what changes him. Where she's like, "What is it inside of you that is so broken that I have to be something else for you?" Like they don't linger on it, but that's a very impactful statement.
yeah.
You know, like
Well, that
I
and
exist.
she says to him, I'm sure we were fun.
At
like
the very end, yeah,
acknowledging,
yes,
acknowledging like, okay, I guess I see it, but like
I see it. I see your charm.
yeah. Like I thought that was a cool like gift to his character instead of him getting the fucking kiss and the girl, because I didn't want that. She needs to be the most dangerous woman in the fucking galaxy, and we finally got the Gamora that we were supposed to. I'm not to complain like her character was mishandled or anything, but she's always been dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and now
Nebula even says that.
Yeah, now she feels fucking dangerous.
Yeah,
man.
she does.
It's great.
She does. Peter goes home to reunite with his grandfather.
And to learn how to swim.
Yeah. and all of this is done to the dog days are over, which is the final big needle drop of the film. Well, I guess pre-credits anyways. And credits roll.
Shit. No. All right. God damn it. The needle drop was what? Right before that?
Dog days are over. Florence and the Machine.
Yes.
Florence
So we
and the
see
Machine.
Drax finally. So here's some watershed moments. Drax finally dances.
Yes.
Groot finally speaks English or parrots English and says, "I love you guys."
We understood Groot as the
Yes, he could have just
fourth wall.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
Was
He could have
that was his
still just said,
intention
"I
behind
am
that.
Groot."
Yeah.
Yeah. We finally. Yes.
Which was incredible fourth wall weirdness.
Well, and I mean,
I love Nebula's thing.
Vin Diesel had to learn a second line.
He had to learn it. He had a voice.
He had to
coach.
come in on his weekend for that one.
On his day off in the park his yacht.
Well, no, they just took it from Fast and the Furious because he says, "I love you guys." In all
I love
those
you
movies,
guys.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he does. It's about family. And Nebula points out that
Just
Drax
like Applebee's.
I wish he had said it's all. This whole movie's about family.
It's like, Groot, shut up already. Yap. With this guy.
We let you drive. That should be enough.
I like Nebula says that he's not Drax the Destroyer. He's Drax the dad. I love that,
Because and he understood the kid's language.
Yeah. Jub.
Well, and
it
if
means
we
friend.
if we think back and remember in the first one, like his wife and family were killed, and the whole thing was him taking revenge for the death of his family.
Oh, Drax's
And in the
whole
comics-
monkey dance.
Oh,
Beep 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 beep. Is that supposed to be a monkey? But it works.
It does work.
It's Drax the dad.
it's
Because
just
you're
him
about-
doing something stupid.
You're about to say to yourself, why would they have monkeys on his planet? And then he starts doing something that is very unmonkey-like. So it fits. And yeah, you like as Drax.
He's dancing the
evolves-
robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Drax has a lot of dad jokes. If you notice, like after he becomes being so hard, maybe it's Mantis, but like he speaks very bluntly, like, "Oh, you're very ugly," like a dad. Like he doesn't remember your friend's name. He's the ugly one.
He addresses one of those kids as he says,
dumb
"Hello,
one.
moron."
Yeah, exactly. Your dumb friend, Gary. Yeah, Gary, the dumb one.
So the main kid out of this group of kids is Phyla-Vell,
Yes.
supposedly. Phyla-Vell and Moondragon were two characters, some of the first gay characters in Marvel, I think. Whatever. But they both kind of had Drax as a paternal figure at different moments. One was actually his daughter at one point. Phyla-Vell, I think, was actually his daughter. It's complicated. Drax's history
Is that the one who appears in the mid-credit scene?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
With
one
the
where
cushion.
she should become. Well, who is Phyla-Vell? She's not Moondragon.
She has the power cosmic, because around her
Yeah.
hands is that like Captain Marvel has as well, the ring,
Yeah.
the Skittles,
The purplish.
Skittles power.
Phyla-Vell is the daughter of Marvel, who was the first Captain Marvel. And the character would be later known as Quasar, Captain Marvel, and Martyr at various different points.
Quasar,
So yeah,
definitely.
it's Quasar and Moondragon in that like Infinity Watch era. But Drax is like made from clay out of a dead human being who plays the saxophone, and there's a whole lot of weird shit that happens.
Yeah, we knew Quasar and Moondragon. They lived in a van.
Mid-credit scene, we get the new Guardians. It's Rocket, Groot, Kraglin, Cosmo, Adam, Phyla, and Blurp. Blurp is there too.
And they're waiting for this invasion of weird creatures and talking about their favorite musical artists.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that the Zune is being shared. That's another like they came back to that. Because the movie opens with
Peter not wanting to share.
Quill saying, "Don't touch my stuff," but he left it for Rocket. So when he went back to rescue, was the Zune so that Rocket could have it because he knew it was important to him. He didn't need the music.
And of course
he was going back to Earth, right?
And he brings it back around full circle, ending with "Come and get my love."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sean Gunn, Kraglin's laughing.
Yeah. And then in an after credit sequence, Peter's eating cereal with his grandfather, talking about mowing his neighbor's lawn.
The kid. Yeah.
I love the drama, and he's like, no, now I want to know. Like, he's invested in the neighborhood drama already.
Well, I was going to say, he's all grown, but he wants to sort of pick up where he was with his grandpa, like lawn mowing rivalry.
Yeah, like, I'll mow the lawn, but her son's a 45-year-old able-bodied man. It feels weird.
Just sitting on the porch.
Watching.
Whereas he's also unemployed and 45 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, fair.
He probably has a job at Dairy Queen or the only other place in that town. I don't know.
There's always a place at the Queen. Isn't that where that giant in the second one? Yeah. Okay.
Was there one sponsored ad?
So that's it for Guardians 3. Any unanswered questions?
What, are we going to see the Guardians again? Because at the end, we get Peter Quill will return.
Right. So
I know we're going to see the Guardians again, but like, what the fuck does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we headed with Peter Quill?
Secret War.
Like, but
if they do Secret Wars,
what thing does Peter have that we need from him to be involved in this crisis?
He's a celestial.
Two of the top.
But he's not anymore, really.
What he has is two of the top 5 movies of 2023.
That's fair. That's fair. He was in Mario and this movie.
Yeah.
So he will make money, I guess. Yeah. That's his power. The drawing power of stardom. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to see what thing they cook up for him to be like, sure, I guess I should leave. I assume we'll see him at a granddad funeral or something. But it's exciting to me.
Again, it can be nothing but speculation, but if Kang pulls everyone from every universe that he wants to fight on Battle Planet, then I don't know.
Well, it would be fun to see like a revisiting of the What If where Black Panther is Star-Lord, but we see him rescue normal Peter Quill. And Peter works at Dairy Queen. Actually, he's working at the fucking Dairy Queen.
That would be amazing. Yes,
there's always a place for me.
I think it would be cool to see him have to be saved by somebody because he has some inherent knowledge about something.
Yeah,
he seems like he'll be important because it's like him, Thor, Banner, and Ant-Man are the remaining old people.
Yeah,
old people. That feels weird to say.
Yeah.
Old Chris Hemsworth.
It's been 15 years of the MCU now.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. So all right. Real quick here. Do soundtrack corner. So I kind of wanted to ask you guys which of the 3 awesome mixes, volumes 1, 2, or 3, do you guys prefer? I can kind of run over the track listings of them if you want some refreshers, but I'm kind of curious because they're all distinct but of a piece.
I think the first one, ultimately for me, I can listen to that.
What's the first track on the second one? Just to put me back in.
Mr. Blue Sky.
Okay,
that's
I think
right.
I like that one because does that also have the Lakeshore Drive?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So it's the 70s like Chevy van.
Lakeshore
Oh
Drive,
yeah,
The Chain.
Oh, it has Brandy.
Brandy.
Chain.
That's my go-to karaoke song.
Bring It
Yeah.
On Home to Me, My Sweet Lord.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Surrender.
Yeah. So that
Flashlight.
That might be. It has
Surrender.
Flashlight. Oh my God.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That I take it back.
Volume
I think the
2.
Second one. Yeah. It's got Sam Cooke and Marvin Gaye on it. I think that's my favorite.
Which one had pina coladas?
That
That one.
First
Oh
one.
no,
yeah.
wait, the first one. Yeah.
Hooked on a Feeling, Spirit in the Sky, I'm Not in Love, Cherry Bomb, Ooh Child.
I mean, a lot of those needle drops were fun because it was the first Guardians movie, so like we were getting into that James Gunn vibe. But I like this.
First one.
I like the second one.
The first one felt like a 90s Tarantino soundtrack to me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
I
somewhere
dig
between that and Wes Anderson almost, where I was like, wow, this is like each one of these is hella inspired. Why?
Yeah, no, he used them.
Curated.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like this feels like too much work went into this. Why is this so
Yeah.
good? Like it shouldn't be
Totally.
this good. No, I can't think of the last movie soundtrack before that was like, wow, I have to own that. I have to
It's
know
like a
every-
soundtrack. Yeah.
the
It's been a long time.
Big chill. Ugh. You know,
The Dazed and Confused soundtracks were huge.
Dazed and Confused,
and they were very similar because it was that late 70s. Yeah.
and like a generational timepiece kind of thing, or
Yeah.
era specific kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean, the Tarantino soundtracks, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction, both were like very, very huge. For
yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I owned the Pulp Fiction one. That's true.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm in a large minority in that I really, really like the Volume 3 soundtrack a lot.
It opens with Radiohead. You're a sucker for Radiohead.
I am, but like
Those songs mean a lot more personally.
I appreciated that they weren't stuck in the 70s
yeah.
Yeah.
anymore. That they weren't afraid to bring it into modern music.
Well, the first soundtrack was all 60s and 70s. The second one was 70s and 80s. The third one was 80s and 90s. And then at the very end, with Florence and the Machine, he moves to the 2000s.
Yeah. Even scrolls down on the Zoom.
The music is just so goddamn good. It's crazy.
I personally find the Dog Days Are Over montage, all of that, to be one of the most transcendently cathartic film montage moments that I've ever witnessed.
I was never particularly a big fan of Florence and the Machine or that song, but man, when that started in the theater, I was like, oh my God, I know this song. Oh my God, this is a really cool choice. Holy shit, everyone is dancing. And I'm like crying in the movie theater.
But it pauses and then comes back.
Because it does two drops where like she gets quiet, and then the second one with the drums where it's boom, 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 run fast for you. Like
yeah. I was so moved in the theater.
Yeah,
bouncing.
So
each one of these movies managed to move me. I can't think of another trilogy of movies that have managed to move me.
Absolutely, and I think
so much emotion.
I think that means it's time that we rank it.
I say it's in the top 10. Top 20 at least.
Well, we have
Where the hell did
Guardians.
Guardians wind up.
We have Guardians 1 and 2 at 13 and 14. 14 and 13 respectively.
I think those movies got increasingly better. So I say this. I love aspects of each one. This was so good.
It's
fired on a lot of cylinders.
It's my personal favorite, and it secretly might be my personal favorite MCU movie at this point in general.
All right. So are we talking the top 10?
I'd like to put it behind Ragnarok and in front of Black Panther. Is that sacrilege? I don't know if that's high enough for you, Thoreau.
We put it,
but that's I like it almost as much as I like Ragnarok.
Yeah, I mean, if it were up to me, I would put it in the top 4 somewhere. But I understand that that's not a widely held opinion.
Man, I'm gonna make a movie that opens with Radiohead.
Only because The Dark Knight is in a category all its own, but I could move around most anything.
Al, what are your thoughts?
I like it more than Winter Soldier.
Same.
I like it more than Iron Man.
I kind of liked Brian's idea of putting it at 10.
Here's my question. We have another James Gunn movie at number 8, The Suicide Squad.
It's better than this.
It's better than that. You're right. That's the jewel in the DC.
This movie needs 2 other movies to be as good as it is. That movie just kicked down the doors and had 2 movies in it. So damn good.
It's a really good movie. So
and it had to drag the fucking bleeding corpse of the first Suicide Squad movie. So yeah,
which was rough.
Gets extra points for that too. Yeah, I say that goes above this for sure.
Okay. I can live with it being between Ragnarok and Black Panther, but Al, I'm not sure you were finished with your thoughts. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was I agreed with that placement. Ragnarok still holds a place in my heart.
Yeah, no, that was a tremendous movie.
It's hard to put it above Black Panther, but
is it racist though?
Is that why?
Well, God damn it!
No. Yeah.
All right.
I'm the one who recommended it. Send your hate mail to me via Twitter at Thoreau Smiley.
And I know fun isn't a qualifier for better, but this was a more fun movie than Black Panther.
Sometimes that's a qualifier.
Absolutely more fun than Black Panther. Oh my God.
Yeah, definitely.
Black
more
Panther
fun.
had a better villain. Better villain though,
True.
for sure.
True. All right, we'll put it at number 10, right in between Thor, Ragnarok, and Black Panther. And that means...
But that works, because you think about it. Taika, James Gunn, and Ryan Coogler, like, those are 3... That's all right. That's a good block of movies together.
Yeah.
Ragnarok, Guardians 3, and Black Panther. Those were set pieces by directors.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Since Brian brought up the villain, there was a conscious choice made that this villain, the High Evolutionary, had no sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Eric Killmonger, you had sympathy for that villain.
Right.
But this villain, the High Evolutionary, is like, no, we don't feel for you at all.
Yeah, no.
The first thing we see him do is abuse animals.
Yeah.
People care more about animals than they do people.
Absolutely. He just sucks. That's it.
And there's not a grain of backstory. They're like, we're not even going to tell you about this asshole.
Yeah.
Where he's from or why. You know, yeah.
Yeah, nothing.
It was a good choice.
Well, that means it is time to look towards next week. And next week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are going to be watching The Flash.
Oof.
Oh, man. I heard this is really good.
I have complicated feelings.
Is it out of theaters?
It's
is it on
currently
streaming?
streaming on HBO Max.
It's on HBO.
Or
you haven't seen
Max,
it in
I'm
any
sorry.
format, even on the like pirated site?
No.
Wow. Holy shit.
It is currently
Watch
streaming on Max, yes.
Especially out of the 4 of us, as our resident most DC fan, I think I would say you've seen more DC animated properties than any person. Anyways,
not any person
that I know
of the 4 of us. Yeah. It's probably true.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to hear what you have to say about The Flash. Like I said, I have complicated feelings, like group therapy session complicated.
Yeah,
that's what this is all about, Josh. This is a group therapy session.
That's why
that we broadcast to the world.
It is. In true, it is.
This episode's going to need some extra time too, because this movie's extra bad, and it took 15 years to make. So we're going to have to carve out quite a bit of time for the production notes.
It's some stuff. It is some stuff for sure.
It is some stuff.
That is next week on Harmless Phosphorescence. Until then, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. This has been your host, Thoreau Smiley, and I say, Josh, Brian, Al, Thoreau, go now.
I'm Josh Cece, just your local octopus guy selling meth to cockroach-headed It's I don't know.
We left out some important information, but that is the gist of it. I'm Brian Lash.
I'm Alaric Weber. I'm not a raccoon. I'm a kitty cat.
Wow.
Al, you're a person. We've been over this.
Yeah, group therapy.
Al, put your pants on, God damn it.
You're a cat that wears pants.
We'll see you next.
And is a mailman.
We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.